Hello, what's happening? Oh, nothing much, just chilling at home. What are you guys doing? Yeah, of course. Come on over. How long till you guys are here? 15, 20 minutes? That works. Fuck my life. Fuck my life. What do I have? Oh fuck. What do I have? I got kale, potatoes, mushrooms, and cheese? I got an idea. Let's get this done. All right, I got all my ingredients. So we got some kale, we're gonna make some kale chips. I also found mushrooms. We're gonna make some stuffed mushroom caps to die for. If you don't have all the ingredients, don't worry, we'll make it work. And last but not least, we're gonna make fresh AF fries. If you don't know what AF stands for, it means as fuck. Let's get started. This is hashtag get fat. All right, let's start with the mushrooms. The mushrooms are gonna be the longest process here, okay? Grab a bunch of mushrooms. What you're gonna do is you're gonna make sure you wash them. Wash your mushrooms, I'm telling you this now. Honestly, I pulled some mushrooms out and at the bottom of this, there's poop, okay? Of course, it's manure. You don't wanna eat it. Dirt, don't eat it. Wash your mushrooms. Only way to wash your mushrooms is under cold water. Don't use hot water. You're just gonna destroy them. Wash your mushroom. Don't pull off the stem on your mushrooms because you don't want that dirt to go inside and get stuck in the gills. So wash the outside of these mushrooms properly. Give them a nice massage. Mushrooms. Once your mushrooms are done washing, you're going to pull out the stems of these, okay? Be very careful. You don't want to go barbaric and then snap these mushrooms into 100 pieces. Pull out the stem, mushroom to the side. We have to make sure we dry these mushrooms. As we all know, mushrooms are made out of a lot of water content, so you don't want to bake these mushrooms off with a lot of water surrounding them. Some of these caps are going to take a little bit harder, a little bit longer to get out, but we'll get them out there. Once you wash your mushrooms, pulled off the stems, leave them on some paper towel, leave them on the counter, let them dry out. Make sure they are dry. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make the filling for these mushrooms. Grab yourself a bowl. You're gonna need some cream cheese. I'm gonna say I got about 22 mushrooms here. I'm gonna use that's about 2 tablespoons, another 2 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons of cream cheese, okay? Get that in there. The cream cheese I'm using is herb and garlic cream cheese, so all the flavor's already in there. You don't really need to add anything else. We are gonna add some breadcrumbs into this. The reason why you wanna add some breadcrumbs into this is it soaks up some of that moisture, and honestly, it just makes them taste that much better. Get your breadcrumbs in there. I'm gonna say about 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. You can use any kind of cheese you have in the fridge. I got some smoked Gouda. So we're gonna sprinkle in some smoked Gouda into this, and we're gonna give this a quick little mix. All right, so once your mixture is fully combined together, what you want, the next step here is to get a baking dish. Don't need to put it in the bottom of this baking dish. Some people put olive oil, some people put butter, you can put whatever under there. There's enough cheese in this mixture that's gonna soak out of that mushroom, come out, so it's not gonna stick to the bottom of the pan. But grab your couple mushrooms, line them up at the bottom of the pan. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Today's show is brought to you by the number 8. All right, so your mushrooms are in the baking pan. If your mixture is still not pliable because, runaway mixture, because you just pulled the cream cheese out of the fridge, that's fine. 2-spoon it. You heard 2 girls, 1 cup. Now you hear 1 mushroom, 2 spoons. Get that filling into the mushrooms. Don't have to fill it up all the way, but just get it in there. We're gonna place these aside. Once we get the kale chips into the oven, we'll put these in there with them. So the biggest thing with kale is make sure you wash the kale. Like seriously, run it under water. Get her clean, Get that dirt off of there. Kale. I didn't mean the girl. I just meant Kale. Whatever. So with your kale chips, your kale is cleaned. It is washed. The biggest thing behind this is you do want to cut out the main stem in this. And honestly, you're asking me why if you don't know. If you don't know. You're asking me why if you don't know? It's because it's like chewing on hay. No, don't do it. Cut out the stem. Keep the leaves. Oh, this little leaf he decided not to come off. And just cut them into little pieces. Biggest thing with kale as well is when you are making kale chips, make sure they're dry. If you have a salad spinner, use a salad spinner. If you don't have a salad spinner, you're just gonna have to wait a few more minutes, unless you want to use a lot of paper towel. Also not a bad idea. Or teepee, because I know a lot of you out there have kept teepee and decided to hide in your homes because of the pandemic. Make sure she is dry. There's a lot of moisture in this. Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna lube up your dried kale. Lube it. I'm using some olive oil. You can use coconut oil, you can use peanut oil, you can use whatever oil you want. Don't drench it, you just need a little bit on there. Reason why is because we will season it. We're gonna throw some salt, pepper, whatever else you have in your cabinet. You know, it's like all dressed chips. Put whatever you feel on it, and guess what? They're gonna come out delicious. Guaranteed that's what happened. Guy in the factory, he's like, yo, you gotta go figure out how to make that, go make me a flavor. He's like, what flavor, sir? I don't give a shit, go figure it out. Why? You're gonna be fired if you don't by the end of the fucking day. And that's how all dressed chips are made. What we're gonna do, oh, all of you, put in your beard. Yeah, I should wipe that off my face. All right, I'm gonna hit these kale chips with some salt. Get a good amount on there, can't go wrong with salt. Pepper as usual. And I'm gonna throw some onion powder in there just because I have some. A little bit more, why not? Some garlic powder. Yeah, put it all in there. A couple pinches. And some paprika, I don't know. Let's just add it just for fun. All right, let's get a good mix on these. Make sure every chip is covered with all the seasoning. You don't want one or two chips just covered in seasoning. You want all these pieces of leaves, all this kale covered in spice and lubricant. Yo, you know what I just realized? I had chili flakes on the counter. Let's throw some of that in there. Bum burner. All right, get that in there. Preheat your oven to 400. And today, me being smart, it's preheated to 400. Oh yeah, that actually smells fucking delicious. I think we need a little bit more salt. I don't think we do, but I just wanted to. All right, grab yourself a tray. Lines it with the paper. You can use foil if you like. What's going on here? You can use foil if you like. You can use parchment paper, wax paper. I just like wax paper because it stinks when you heat it up. But yeah, you can use kind of anything. Just don't use saran wrap. Get these chips spread it out. Just spread them out from a height because you want them to hit different spots. So they're spread out and they crisp up instead of just clumping them in one spot. Grab your tray, put that in the oven. You're gonna put these in there for 15 minutes. And then after that, we will flip them and then rebake them for another 2 minutes. Get them nice and crisp. But do check on them after 10 minutes just in case. At the 10-minute mark on those kale chips, I am gonna put the mushrooms in there. The mushrooms will go in. They're gonna spend a few more minutes in there than the kale chips, but it's a good thing because the kale chips need to cool and settle so they're crispy when you eat them. Next, we're gonna do our fresh AF fries. Keep these simple, easy once again. What you wanna do is, so you don't chop off your fingers, cut off a piece of the potato from the bottom. Now she don't roll. Now she's stuck. And then just slice downwards. Make them to shoestring size so they cook a little bit faster in the air fryer. And of course, crisp up a lot better. So get your potatoes all cut up. That end part, there we go. And make sure you get a bowl of water. You know, when you go to a fast food restaurant, which you shouldn't do anyways, and you order fries, and then you get one with like that brown spot all over it, that's because they left them out too long, or it was a shipped potato, or they used too many chemicals. Let's go with B, C, number C, letter C, too many chemicals. So potatoes all cut up, cut them into small little pieces, shoestrings. I don't know dimensions. Like I've told you before, I don't know dimensions, but nice, thin, all the way around. And make sure your potatoes washed. I did wash my potato, I swear. I swear on these chives, I washed these potatoes. Potato. Anyways, let's get these sliced up. Get a bowl of cold water, not hot water. You don't want to cook the fry. You just want to keep them from turning brown. All right, potatoes are all cut up. You're going to want to drain this out. You don't have to go crazy. Rinse them out once, get rid of some of this starch. We'll bring the bowl back over with these drained fries, and then we'll get seasoning. All right, so we got our bowl of fries. I am gonna hit it with a little bit of olive oil. Reason why is when you do put it in the air fryer, and of course not frying with any oil, it will crisp it, but the longevity of it, it will dry it out. So a little hit of olive oil will keep it moist and crunchy at the same time. Moist. So a few tablespoons of olive oil in there. I still have all these spices out, so I'm gonna hit them with a little bit of onion powder. A little bit more, a few pinches, quarter teaspoon. I don't know, don't even measure it out. There's a lot of chili flakes. Garlic, a lot of garlic powder. I love garlic. If you like garlic as well, load it up. It's good for your immune system as well. We got some parsley, quarter teaspoon of parsley, and some paprika. Just hit it with a little bit of paprika. Salt. And get these potatoes salted. Like you want to taste that salt when it comes through. Pepper. You ever realize pepper comes out slower? And then mix it up. I always try to figure out why I never use a spoon. But I think this is way better anyways. It just does. It is messier, but it works way better. Fries all mixed up. Let's get your air fryer going. I guess today's show is also brought to you by the number 0, as we have 0 pots and 0 air fryer basket in there. All right, so fries all mixed up with your seasoning, get into your air fryer. We're gonna set your air fryer to 400 degrees. We're gonna set these bad boys up for, let's go 14 minutes. Should be crispy by then, but halfway through the cycle, we are gonna give them a little stir just in case they are sticking to each other. I can do this. Turn on your air fryer. Set it to air crisp because we want to fry those. Set it to 400, highest you can go. Let's set it for 14 minutes and we'll check in on, these in about 8 minutes just to make sure they're not burning and give it a quick little stir. Kale chips have been in there for about 8 minutes now. We're gonna pull them out. You don't want to burn them, but as you can see, they dwindle down to almost nothing. We are going to give it a little bit of a stir here. They are getting crispy as you can hear, but you want to get them crispier. Put these back in the oven for about 1 more minute, maybe 2, but do not walk away from your oven. That cloth is really hot. Do not walk away from your oven because the last thing you want to do is walk away, come back 4 minutes later, and these things are fried to a crisp. Burnt to a crisp, actually. So kale chips in for a couple more minutes. We got our mushrooms. We're gonna place them in there as well. We'll just put them on the bottom tray. Those will take about, call it 12, 15 minutes, tops. By that time, we're gonna be plating the fries, plating the kale chips. Life is gonna be great. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes. Kale chips are ready. Pull them out of the oven. Make sure you take the parchment paper off of the tray. Leave it somewhere to cool for a minute. You do not want that residual heat to continue crisping up that chip, and then it's just gonna burn the bottom. But I do wanna try it real quick. Bro. All right, kale chips have been cooling for a little bit here, so we're just gonna move them off this parchment paper and onto a plate. Fries are just over halfway cooked here in our air fryer. We're just gonna give them a quick little stir. Give them a little stir up. Move the guys from the bottom to the top to the bottom. Different positions, if you know what I mean. I'm running out of time. Everybody's gonna be here real soon. I'm gonna give myself a 0 from my effort. 800. 800. Mushrooms should be ready to go. Let's take a little peek. Whew. Hot flash in the face. Oh, look at those. You can see the cheese oozing out of this. You can see most of the moisture has disappeared. You will see this at the bottom of your pan. But that's most of the moisture from the mushrooms coming out, and a bit of that cheese and all that gooey deliciousness that is melted on there. Let's get some of these out of here. Woo, pan is hot. Be careful. Use a cloth, hold your tray. Mushrooms out, pan hot, be careful. Don't put it right in the sink, you'll break it. Put our mushrooms over. Let's garnish it with a little bit of chives as well. Got a bit out here anyways. All right, so we got stuffed mushroom caps, fresh AF fries, and kale chips in less than 20 minutes. You know what? I'm gonna rate myself out of these 3 dishes. I'm gonna give myself an 8 out of 10. Today's show is brought to you by the number boob. They're here.